Welcome back to episode 35 of the What is the Craic podcast. As always, you are joined by me, Phil Moore, and I am with Sam Vickery again. Unfortunately, we had a bit of an absence for the both of us, but sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as discussed on the previous
shit happens.
As discussed on the previous podcast, I rinsed Phil something rotten. And then Phil was supposed to do one solo himself the week after. And what happened there, Phil?
Oh, just fucking...
I'll tell you what happened. You had a drink, didn't you?
No.
And you sat down and you felt that beer coursing through your veins and you went...
No, I know. I was going to do the start and I was just like, welcome back to... I was like, this is the What is the Point podcast with Phil Moore. Like...
Well, yeah, I mean...
to be fair, like, just... work stuff like that kind of got in the way, and then I was kind of trying to sit down to rush one, and it was just there's no point. Do you know what I mean? It just sounded shit. I listened back, I didn't like it, so I was like, "Fuck it, we'll get the band back together and we'll go again."
Get the old dream team back on the
the old gruesome twosome.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna get into today, we're gonna bring you all the crack that was UFC Vegas number 3. Which was Curtis Blades and Alexander Volkov. I don't want to talk too much about the main event, but look, as always, we're going to go top to bottom. But Curtis Blades defeated Alexander Volkov by unanimous decision. One judge had 49 to 46, another judge had 48 to 47, and the final judge had a 48 to 46 in favour of Blades.
I mean, it was. Let's just sum it up for what it was. It was a Curtis Blades fight.
It was awful.
It was boring.
I tried to stay up actually to watch. I got as far as the first fight in the main card. I tried to actually stay up for the duration.
Yeah.
But I know, like, I just wouldn't have made it. Like, if you're trying to just stay awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, and Blades is lying on top of him.
Apart from a couple of the female contests, the rest of the card was good. And, you know, I think if you'd have stayed up for Emmett Burgos, you'd have been fucking well happy.
Oh, mate.
That main event, fucking hell. Look, I'll be honest with what I did at watching that. I started watching it at 1.5 speed because I knew that it was just going to be... Because every heavyweight fight I do at that, you know, I go a little bit faster thinking it's just going to be utter shite. And unfortunately, this turned out to be that. And then eventually I got to the point where I was just skipping like 20 seconds and nothing was happening. And I couldn't believe that I was skipping that far along in the fight. Because people think 20 seconds is a long time, but in a fight, 20 seconds is a lot. And nothing was happening. And I just thought, do you know what? Fuck this. I don't care. You know, Curtis Blades is what Curtis Blades is.
Yeah. And you can't blame him for fighting like that. He's doing what you can do to win the fight. But if you talk, and Dana White got hit the bleeding nail on the head. If you go into that in your pre-fight week talking this much shit about how you're going to ragdoll him and do all this to him, and then you do that for, 25 minutes? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
it was awful. It was awful. Like, and it's not on Curtis Blades that Alexander Volkov couldn't defend his takedowns, but he did. Like,
but that being said, you know, you look at Khabib Nurmagomedov, right, and you look at how he uses his wrestling to dominate. That's what you want to see from a wrestler.
But he's constantly working all the time. He's not laying and praying.
Yeah,
Blades got stood up. How many times did he get stood up?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look in the stat. Like I said, I was jumping through, so I didn't even take account of that stuff because I just don't care.
I don't mind these fights where you have a dominant wrestler who is, you know, it is what it is. They're just getting takedown after takedown. But like, Blades was hardly working when he was on top.
He just knew that that's what he needed to do to score the points and win. And look, Volkov, you know, at the same time, he's a very dangerous opponent. You know, he's very skilled. He's very he's a veteran. He's what he is. So
he doesn't really want to stand with him. Like,
do you want to make a mistake as well? Do you want to make a single? Because, you know, Volkov's not bad off his back and stuff as well. You know, so he's got a few submissions to his name. Do you really want to make one mistake that's going to cost you being in the top 5 and, you know, all these kind of things? I get where Blades, what he's doing and why, but it's just so dull to watch.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
so
good to watch.
not entertaining, and the fans don't deserve it. But to be honest, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on this fight, but where do you see? I mean, Volkov, first of all, where do you see him go? He just kind of is now in the background of the division at all times, and really is a gatekeeper. I see him towards
Yeah,
that top 10.
well, if you have
But
upcoming,
Blades, I mean, what do you do with him? You know, it's Volkov is where he is because that's where he is in his career. You know, it's a very easy thing to see. But Blades, his only losses have ever been to Francis Ngannou. His only 2 losses, and Ngannou's the number 1 contender. And then you look at the top of the division, the 2 best wrestlers in the division. Blades is just underneath them, probably in wrestling terms in that division. So maybe he could beat one of DC or Miocic. You know, it's one of those things where his career is so strange. Ngannou he can't beat. You know, Ngannou is one of those situations where I think psychologically.
well, if he does beat Ngannou, it's going to be the exact same way he bet Volkov.
Yeah. But he's had 2 chances, you know, and he couldn't impose that will in those 2 chances. So for me, it's kind of like, you know, what's he going to do?
But for Volkov, yeah, kind of. I'm not saying he couldn't get another run again and try to get himself back up there, but like he'd be kind of one for up and coming heavyweight fighters. You know, it's a good test for you to see what you're made of. Like, give Cyril Gane, put him up against that. I'd say Curtis Blades, over him is still planning on fighting for another couple of fights anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the kind of fight you want to give him, right? You want to give him an Overeem where you want to see, because Overeem's wrestling's got a lot better.
That's what I'm saying. I think he'd be able to deal with it.
Yeah, and I think, you don't want to see him go against a Derek Lewis or anyone like that. It's not worth it, it's just going to ball the living shit out of you. But I don't know. I expected more from Blaze in this fight. His last 2 fights have been stoppages, particularly after the Junior Dos Santos one. I was just expecting a little bit more from him, and I think he played the safe route. And I think, another part of this is we're wondering why. Yeah, he doesn't want to make a mistake and lose, but at the same time, if he knows he's nowhere near that title shot, which he isn't at the moment because Miocic Cormier has been rebooked. We haven't talked about that yet, but that's been booked for August. And Ngannou's sitting in line for whoever wins that fight. What does Blades do? He's in a situation where he needs to earn money and live his life and win and do whatever, but he also needs to hold that top spot. So now he's probably going to play it safe, and by doing that, he's probably going to lose his shot overall by playing it safe. But we'll see.
Yeah, but look, we'll move on from this. Less said kind of about that fight, the better, to be honest with you. But an absolute banger of a co-main event next. Josh Emmett defeated Shane Burgos by unanimous decision. 2 judges had it 29-28. 1 judge had 29-27.
Fair. I think you could still have one of those rounds.
Yeah, possibly. The one with the 2 knockdowns.
Yeah,
that was clear. That was clear. That was clearly a 10-8 round. But I thought it was neck and neck. If not, Shane Burgos was slightly edging it for me up until obviously the last round. But what a fight! Like Josh Emmett, he was so right to be a little bit pissed off in his post-fight interview, and he's just every time they just underrate him.
Yeah, I mean, look, journalists seem to have this fucking thing in MMA where they just love shitting on a certain someone. And Josh Emmett's that guy because he came in late to his career. He's 35 now, and we've only really seen him in the last 2 years. He's just a power puncher with a bit of wrestling. Oh, okay, is he just that, is he? Because you're the same fuckers that wank over Jeremy Stevens. Oh, he's such a fucking hard man. He just goes in there to bang. Josh Emmett has the exact same style, hits harder than Jeremy Stevens.
And he's better.
And people hate him. Now, the thing is, me and you, we talked about this fight after anyway, and I think Emmett won the first round. You think Burgos possibly won the first round.
Yeah, I think so.
It was such a great fight that, I would have been...
Second one was so close.
I would have been upset for Emmett if he'd have lost that fight, to be fair.
Well,
it's one of those situations where...
The third round was clear as day to me.
Yeah.
If I thought, if Emmett didn't win that, well then, Jesus.
So can we also say that Emmett not only won this fight and dominated that third round, but he tore his ACL in the first minute of the fight, complete tear
Wow, I
of his
didn't actually.
ACL. And not
Yeah.
only that, he had a minor tear of his MCL, and he had a compound fracture in his fucking shin as well. And the guy still fucking won, right?
Beast.
Now look, people want to say whatever the fuck they want about Josh Emmett, but Jesus Christ, I would have pulled out within seconds. As soon as my knee went, I'd have gone.
I'd start crying. I'd start crying in the octagon. No,
immediately.
Yeah. I don't want to do it. Like, just get me out of here. Get me out of here.
I mean,
one thing we have to say, like, if we're like, yeah, but of course, how tough Emmett is to do that and go through that. How tough is Shane Burgos to just take power after power after power? I was actually shouting, put your hands up.
Oh, look, but Burgos is what Burgos is, you know. That's who he's going to be. But my God, look, you know, that guy, we saw him lose to Calvin Kattar. That was his only loss. Calvin Kattar, for me, is the dark horse of that division. Burgos is bringing himself even further into that dark horse. And Emmett is the other dark horse in that division as well. That division is so fucking
crazy.
Stacked.
It's crazy.
What I don't like about this, though, now is that Emmett has got to take at least 9 months off with those injuries. And at 35, I mean...
Yeah, you could say 35, but in terms of, you know, experience and stuff like that, it's, you know, he hasn't got
but those
a mountain of fights are on his record.
Those old knee injuries from wrestling and everything else, they're all going to, you know, they all crop up and they do whatever. And I think the thing is, you're saying, oh, yeah, he hasn't got... We talk about this all the time because Tyron Woodley's a perfect example of someone who won stuff late in, you know, in life. But what mileage has Josh Emmett got for everything else, you know? We don't really know. And we'll only be able to tell in 9 months. But it's kind of, for me, it's the same as the Thiago Santos thing. You know, Thiago Santos is just getting there and he's having title shot and he looked great against John Jones. And then knee injury setback for a year. You know, it's such a shame because you want to see where these guys are going to go and what's going to happen, but now they're just held back. But Burgos, I mean, on the flip side of that, he comes out of this relatively unscathed, even though he took some serious shots in that fight. And he's going to fight again in 3 months or whatever, and his career is going to go from strength to strength. You know, he's only lost. I hope it kind of really.
Absolutely, yeah. I hope for his sake it kind of teaches him maybe to not stick his chin out so much, or not. You know, you can only fight with that hands down kind of style for so long. Eventually, it's just wear and tear in the chin. Your body's just going to go, hold on a minute, we're going to sleep here.
Silva, how that went.
Yeah, well, Cody Garbrandt as well, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously we've seen the return of him and how phenomenal he looked. But you know, you can only fight with your chin out for so long. Somebody's going to tap you, like.
Yeah, I mean, but Burgos, I'm still, you know, he's beating Amir Khani and Cub Swanson. I think he's definitely up there for that top 5 in the next couple of years. I just want to see him, like you said, kind of put it together a little bit more, be a bit smarter.
A little bit smarter, you know? Fight IQ and stuff.
If he'd have been smarter in that first round, he'd have definitely won it. You know, if he'd have just circled away and not got engaged and had those takedowns happen, you know, we'd be seeing a different result right now for that fight.
Well, like he was having a bit of his success with his calf kicks and stuff, and if he really kind of just followed that.
And in the clinch, you know, he did well in the clinch as well, and he looked good. And I mean, it's hard to. I thought about the fight after we talked about it, and I said, was it a clear first round for Emmett? And to be honest, now I'm thinking, was it? You know, now.
Well, that's why I had Burgos going up. I thought he was landing clean. He was landing more, and then I thought Josh Emmett was just landing power. And I thought if Shane Burgos just took a step back, he could have nullified that. Do you know what I mean? But you know, eventually played before he got burnt. But great fight. But I want to see. So Emmett's now 16-2, which is, you know, that's fantastic. So Burgos was number 10 coming into it, but he's fallen to 13-1. Or sorry, 13-2 now. That's second loss. Yeah.
What I would say is, does he really drop anywhere from there? You know, because he's still top 10 to me, even though he lost that fight.
Well, Emmett's gone to number 8 after this.
Well, Emmett was already number 8 before this, and that was another thing I was thinking about as well. Is how are they matchmaking these things? Because Emmett really, should have been going up to somewhere, and because he was going, he had a loss, and then he came back and he fought his way through, and then Burgos. I mean, I kind of get to fill the cards at the minute. They need to do whatever they can, but I'd like to see Emmett, which we're not going to see for a while now, up against the top 5 guys. See where he really is, where he stands.
Well, that's
go
next.
from there.
That's definitely next. I'd love to see Emmett against Qatar and see
what a division that is, man.
But I think Qatar would be a bad fight for him because I think Qatar has that intelligence and that wherewithal not to get caught.
Oh yeah, I think Qatar. I think first round Emmett takes that first round because Qatar's a little bit of a slow start, and then I think Qatar just ramps up his fucking work rate and it's.
But if I want Emmett and Qatar, I want that 5 rounds.
Oh, 100%. And Qatar wins 4. That's the thing about it. But then we saw Emmett, torn ACL, great cardio, kept coming forward, even at that 3rd round with a torn ACL and a fracture in your leg. I'm sorry.
Well,
that shows how much of a fucking athlete you are.
Well, if he's out for that long, because obviously we know Qatar's next fight is Dan Ige. That's been confirmed. And that's coming up fairly soon.
What a strange fight for Qatar to take that is. Ranked number 6, Ige's number 11.
I know, but I love it. I really like it.
Ige only just about pulled off his win as well against Barboza.
He did, but he's still a brawler, and it's just going to be a great fight.
And I still think Barboza won that fight. And I think if anything,
yeah, well, we were annoyed.
I'd much prefer to see Qatar versus Barboza right now. Imagine
I don't think
the violence.
But then Barboza doesn't really have a claim to that fight.
But then you say,
obviously we think he won, but it's irrelevant.
Hang on, Phil, because I thought you said it was okay that Jose Aldo was getting a 135 title shot.
That's different.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Sorry, I got confused because it wasn't my opinion.
If I think that's the way, then it's correct.
Classic, absolutely classic. Anyway, you fucking cunt. But so moving on, let's. What's the next one? Oh, is it worth talking about? Actually, I mean,
talk about it for a bit, but it's a fairly dull affair. First round was all right, I thought, because the 2 of them actually went for it. But Raquel Pennington defeated Marion Renew by unanimous decision.
I watched this fight, Phil, and I don't remember it. That's genuinely true. I watched this entire fight, and I can't tell you a moment in it that was interesting. Have you got anything for it? Because I'm a bit lost.
The most thing you talk, basically the first round, the two of them came out and they're actually, there was some decent exchanges. Depending from what I remember, she was having a lot of success with her left. From then on, it kind of turned into just a bit of a clinch war up against the fence. Yeah. And that's kind of what it was. I thought Renew kind of faded towards the later rounds. Yeah, and she was kind of just surviving from then on. So I thought to be honest, I thought I would have had a 30-27 Pennington, but the fight really had it really was a forgettable fight, to be honest.
The thing is, I don't understand. What was it? Was it 29-28 in the end? Because I really don't remember. It was 29-28.
I'll tell you now. Yeah, well, one judge had 30-27, and then
first of all, 30-27 was spot on. That round when Marion Renew got a takedown, she was outlanded by triple the amount of strikes. And you've got to. The thing is, this is where the judging now really starts to become a problem, and that's a clear loss for Renew. In fact, every round for me was a clear loss for Renew, from what I remember.
30-27 was fair.
But 29-28 on 2 judges, and Sal D'Amato, my favourite judge of all time, is done another 29-28, and he should be struck off forever from judging fights. He's a fucking useless tit. But anyway, the fight itself has no ramifications in the division whatsoever. It has zero interest from me for any purpose. It was just a card filler, and not a very good one at that. Now, why this was above the card for Bilal Muhammad, Jim Miller, Bobby Green, Clay Green, why that fight was above all those on that card, I have no idea. And it boggles my mind every single time that we see fights like this in the middle of a good card. And the only thing that I can think is they want you to get bored before the next fight. They want you to be lingering for something violent in the next fight.
It's a bit like, it's a bit like pro wrestling cards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want the higher, like obviously the main event, the common event. They want them to be the star attraction. So they'll put a little, dark match in the middle of it to kind of just bring the crowd down, and then they'll go straight back out. I know. Look, it is what it is. Raquel Pennington is now 11-9, and Renew is 9-6-1. But to be honest, I just have to say.
Let's just put this into perspective. In
fair
their
play,
division,
Renew's 43. Fair play.
Hang on.
Still doing
Let's put this into perspective. They're number 6 and number 10 in that division. 11-9, 9-6-1. The quality is so bad in these women's divisions, it makes me violently sick.
I know we've talked about this at length, but from the top down, just in that middle stack, it's like, do you know what it is? It's like the Scottish Premier League. So you have Shevchenko, who's Celtic, who's won 10 in a row, and she's not going to lose it anytime soon. And then you have everybody else in that division.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And then you have your Holly Holmes, which are Rangers. Just kind of, we're
there. Thereabouts, but they always get to the summit and they can't go any further. But and if there's any Rangers fans, I swear to God, I'm not even a Celtic fan. It is what it is.
You absolute Fenian. Anyway.
But listen, what was I going to say? Yeah, but the only one this is what I was kind of, when I was compiling the notes for the solo show that didn't happen. But I had a thing. I think the only one who really has a chance in that division against Shevchenko is her sister. Do you know what I mean?
I don't even think she's got a chance.
I don't think she does, but I think she's the best chance over
think,
everybody else.
It's just such a shit division overall, and
it's not great. It's not great.
You say her sister's the only person to compete, but then her sister just
not that
dominated.
She could beat her, but not that she knows how to fight against her.
But she just got dominated by her sister's last opponent, who was dominated by her sister.
Her sister Chugagan was. Her last fight was against Antonia.
Yeah, and
Antonia won that fight.
Are you okay, Phil?
Did we not cover this?
Phil, are you okay?
Oh no, probably I'm getting it mixed up.
Antonina lost that fight.
No, she didn't. Hold on.
Are you okay?
I must have been having a few bevies when I was watching it.
3 rounds. Chukagian destroyed her for 3 rounds. It wasn't even funny.
Oh, well then throw my take out the window.
You what?
Throw my take out the window. I swear to God,
Phil,
I was convinced.
You've had. Convinced, but
Yeah,
wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah. No, yeah, forget about that.
So basically, all theories are the women's division is still terrible.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, it seems like it's bad of us to talk about it.
Well, to be fair, and I know we didn't get a chance to cover it, but someone who actually is a very well-rounded fighter and does have a chance in that division is Cynthia Calvillo.
Yeah, I mean, look,
you know what I mean. Jessica Eye is the number 1 ranked. Calvillo.
To be honest, Calvillo is the only option now, and that's sad that she has 1 fight in that division. She moves up, beats Jessica Eye, and there we go, straight in. Thanks very much. Number 1 contender. Next, that's how bad that division is, and yeah, it terrifies me that it hasn't in 10 years since women's MMA was introduced to the UFC. We haven't really seen a step up in quality, and that's a worrying sign for that side of the sport. And it's not that I don't want to sit here and I don't want to shit on WMMA and do whatever, because there's no point. Like, Amanda Nunes is one of my favorite fighters. I like Shevchenko. I like Joanna. I like Weili Zhang. I like Rose. But these are the outliers of those divisions. These are the people that are and this is what bothers me is, when are we going to start seeing really true high quality female fighters in these divisions? And people talk about equal pay scale and all these kind of things for women and men. Their champions are getting paid more than the men who are putting on classics, in these divisions. And it doesn't seem fair to me. It doesn't seem right that that's the case, to be honest.
Well, what was I saying? Who else as well? Avila last week looked great.
Yeah, I mean,
but like, hopefully it's just these women, come up and do well and put a run together, and they can have a run at that division. Like, because there is a couple of women in that division I think have potential to get up in amongst it. But then there's just so many fights. There's just so many fights that they're always just going through the motion decisions.
There are, and when you look at the pound for pound women's fighters, and Chikugian is number 11 on that list, there's a problem. there's a real problem. And then, yeah, but whatever. I mean, we can go on about this all day. It's not worth it, but I just want them to step up and fucking be better, because I'm sick of wasting my time watching these fucking... We'll go through it at the bottom of the card. There was 2 or 3 fights at the bottom of this card. I honestly thought I was never going to watch a MMA fight ever again.
I don't know. Yeah, well, we'll get to it anyway. Yeah, but we'll go to the next fight. So, Bilal Muhammad defeated Lyman Good by unanimous decision. So all 3 judges had it 29-28. This was
fair
just
result, I think.
Very fair result. Just outworked from
the
start.
I mean,
and then Lyman Good eventually
had a good. Yeah, last round did well.
Nearly got to finish, but Bilal is just tough.
I mean, so tough. He's one of those fighters. I don't think I've ever seen him. Has he been knocked down before? I can't remember really.
I don't think he's been finished. I don't think he's been finished from what I remember.
He's been in a lot of... Vincent Luque. He was years ago. I forgot Vincent Luque. So yeah. So this is a guy as well, Bilal Muhammad, who got in there with Jeff Neal and took him to the distance. That's how tough this motherfucker is. So, look, the thing is, it was never in my mind that he couldn't get through the fight with Lyman Good. I was just wondering which Lyman Good was going to turn up, and it was half and half this time. It was...
he was just so slow to get going.
Yeah, he looked very slow coming out of the gate, and I think... Bilal knew that and took advantage of that for the first 8-9 minutes, and it was smart. And then Bilal, it's not even though he gassed or anything. Good just knew he was losing and came on strong.
But what I would say, didn't Lyman Good's father pass away 4 weeks ago?
I'm not sure. Probably,
I think that was the case, but surely, like, mentally, he wasn't 100% in that fight. I kind of felt that way.
It's one of those weird things where, the only ever time that I was scheduled to have a fight, Laura passed away, and I fucking, I just wilted. But these people, that was because it was a charity thing, and I was just doing it, because that was a goal of mine. But the difference is, these guys do this day in, day out, and I think when you're already in the middle of a pandemic, when you're already not earning money, when you're already in a bad situation as it is,
yeah, it's like a snowball. It's like a snowball.
It is, and sometimes the only thing that's normal is getting out there and doing work, and as much as they enjoy this, it is a job to them, and it takes their mind off things, and they go and they don't have to dwell on their father's death, and
Yeah, but that's it. Like, I'm sure he'd say otherwise. Like, but I that's just.
Oh, it's got to be there.
It's got to be in the back of your head. But to be honest, he did come out in the 3rd round and he looked great, and he nearly did. He nearly did get a finish. He had Bilal hurt.
Can we say Lyman Good, the MVP for best body of the night?
Yeah.
Unbelievable rig on that guy.
He's fairly jacked.
He's fucking
one thing I would also say with Lyman Good, have you ever seen Diego Costa and Lyman Good in the same room?
I haven't. And
that's because they're the same person.
Because they've both got absolute blockheads as well.
And they're two shithouses.
I think if you stood them next to each other, could you imagine how much smaller Diego Costa would be? I mean, it'd be terrifying. It'd be like, imagine what Lyman Good weighs when he's not fighting. He's got to be 200 pounds. That bitch. It's unbelievable.
He's huge, man.
Monster.
But anyway,
yeah. Moving on.
Muhammad now is 17-3. Goods fall to 21-6 and 1 no contest. So actually, yeah, suppose mention it as well. Obviously, did you see Bilal Muhammad's father lost his business after 12 years to the riots in Chicago?
No, I mean,
yeah, that's tough.
Look, this is, we're not going to go too much into the politics of this whole thing because it's ridiculous. But it's such a shame that someone, people in America talk about the American dream all the time, coming from another country, setting up a business, being successful. That man literally lived that entire dream.
He was, he's lived the American dream, and it just got
you've taken it away from him because you're a selfish fucking white middle class prick who's on these parades. Fucking sanctimonious arsehole who just, wants to ruin what effectively is meant to be a good thing. It
is a good thing, and it ruin it for the people who are actually protesting injustices.
And we can talk about this a little bit later on, because really the sporting world has been affected by this recently. Not just it disturbs me how little the UFC and everyone else has done to support these causes. When the Premier League, we've seen it. It's every shirt saying Black Lives Matter. But then we're seeing protests of the plane above the fucking, the problem is, what are we seeing in the UFC these days? They're ignoring pandemic rules. They are ignoring, social justice, rightful social justice movements. And nothing's been said about the UFC doing that. They were lauded as heroes for the pandemic thing. We kind of had our ups and downs about that, our thoughts in and out about what was right, what was wrong. And so far it's been pretty successful. But they've done nothing to show support for Black Lives Matter. They've done nothing to show that they're a progressive, moving forward company. And what is going to hurt them at this point? What it's like Dana White's Teflon. He can do whatever he wants and nothing sticks. He just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, I suppose they do have the right to do what they want. They are a private company,
and Donald Trump's his best mate.
Fair enough. But here, look, we'll move on to the next fight.
But anyway, just to kind of talk about
Bilal
Muhammad. I was just going to say, but Bilal Muhammad, for me, I think he's the kind of guy that could be in there with anyone in that division, and hold his own. But he just hasn't got the skill. Mentally, he's a champion. He's right there now already. He will take any beating, come forward all the time. He's smart. He uses his combination well. He's not the fastest, but he always manages to get good shots and do whatever. But I can't see his skill level ever surpassing where he's at now, if you know what I mean. He does look better, but it's such a slow change from where he's been. I just don't see him ever getting to that champion status. But I do think he's the ultimate gatekeeper in that division, really. He's the guy. If you're going to be top 5, you've got to go through someone like him, really. Even though he's not even ranked.
I believe he is ranked now after that fight.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. He's entered the fray now. But it's such a stacked division. It's just like through no fault of his own. But I think I could see him getting up there. At least getting up, to be in with a shot of contention. I could see that with Bilal Muhammad. But I think he needs to get another fight kind of relatively straight away after how long he's out for his medical suspension. But I do like Bilal Muhammad, and I do enjoy watching him fight. But we'll move on to the crafty veteran, Jim Miller defeated Roosevelt Roberts by submission, armbar, 2 minutes and 25 seconds of round number 1. Can we get a talk? Can we just mention before this fight gets off, Roosevelt Roberts, humble yourself, lad.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean,
he was talking a lot. He tweeted about, you see his tweet to Michael Bisping, saying how good he's going to look and stuff like that. It was just like, you cannot take these risks with an absolute shark that is Jim Miller.
Look, Roosevelt Roberts fought a few weeks ago against Brock Weaver, and he won and got an armbar. And it's ironic that then Jim puts him in a nice little armbar and destroys him. pretty sufficiently as well. I mean, look, Roosevelt Roberts, let's not beat around the bush, talented fighter, and definitely could already be further than he is in his career. He's one of those guys that I look at and go, well, what's his fucking management doing? You know, what are they doing with this guy? But that being said, Jim Miller is never out of any fight. Jim Miller, for me, is one of those guys. I mean, how long has he been in the UFC now? 15 years, maybe even longer. I mean, it's ridiculous how long he's been in there. But the guy, I can never count him out. I can never say that he's going to lose to anyone. Yeah, you could put him in against, say, fuck me, I don't know, one of the top guys.
Yeah, but he's been in it since 2008, isn't it?
Yeah, but the problem is, you know, he does these things where he loses to people like Scott Holtzman in his last fight. But Scott Holtzman, in fairness, is an underrated fighter, you know, but it looks bad record-wise right now. But Roosevelt Roberts, I mean, he's talking all this shit. Who's he beaten? Who's he beaten?
Brock Weaver. Hey?
A guy that had his debut earlier in the year, which turned into a no contest, and all we know about him is that he can take a beating.
And allegedly is an animal abuser, but so who cares?
Is he actually an animal abuser? What's the
apparently he was he was doing a Michael Vick with his dogs, but that's for any lawyers listening. That is alleged.
That wouldn't surprise me about someone who looks like Brock Weaver, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but
dicey, but you know what I mean. He looks like a fucking pig-headed scrote, and that's exactly what he is. And look, the thing is, for me, I hate any sort of abuse, but animal abuse is really
it's sociopathic
is
stuff. Like, I don't like
different level of psycho. That is, it's beyond reason. But anyway, look, the thing is, Jim Miller got him in that fucking. He was on his back, got him in the arm side position. The thing was, what got me is Roosevelt can talk all the shit that he wants. How didn't you see that setup coming?
I think he did, but I think he just tried to stay there and think he could hang.
That's what I'm saying. He's not good enough. He's a power outer. That's all.
But
he's not skilled.
To be fair though to Roosevelt Roberts, I think he does have. He's a seriously well-rounded fighter, and he does have the potential to do it. But that being said, like, just don't take 12-year veterans for granted in future. Like, and you'll be doing all right. You'll be doing well.
Not just a 12-year veteran, a 12-year Jim Miller veteran. That's the difference as well. Jim Miller's like, people forget he was very close to a title shot. Not, a few years ago. He looked like he was going somewhere, and then he had ups and downs in his career, and
through all his health problems and stuff.
Yeah,
he was saying in his post fight, basically he feels that he's over. He's basically out of the woods with that, and he feels like his athleticism is returning for a 36-year-old man with his level of experience. Like,
he got Lyme disease at like 29, didn't he? He's had it for like 7 years, and this is the
really
thing,
bad.
Impacted his career, and he was misdiagnosed for years and all sorts of things. That I feel sorry for Jim Miller, because I feel like he could have been something more than he turned out to be because of that illness. But that's life. It hands you a certain fucking whatever. And he's still a great fighter, great guy. Love hearing him talk after fights. He's so respectful. I'd love to be out in New Jersey and train with those guys. It'd just be so fun. I think they'd just be the nicest guys to be around, and him and his brother and whatever. I think it'd be great. But I think Miller now is just there, really. Is he just there to compete with Donald Cerrone for most appearances? I think those two are just staying and hanging on. Yeah. See who can have that legacy of most fights in the UFC. And
he's like the Undertaker, just keep the streak going.
Straight back up.
Yeah. Every 12 months, just rise like Santa Claus. But it's...
I'm back, boys. But yeah, I mean, look, Jim Miller's already fought twice this year. The guy's a fucking savage. I love him. I'm glad he won that fight, because Roosevelt was talking absolute bollocks. I don't know what's next for either of those guys. I mean, it's kind of just who wants to take a fight against them at this point in their careers. Both on opposite ends of the scale. Roosevelt starting out, Jim coming down. Like, it is what it is. But I'd watch either of them fight again.
100%.
They're both great.
I like Roosevelt. I like Roosevelt.
Yeah,
just a young, brash fighter who bit off more than he can chew, basically.
Yeah,
but like,
totally
he won't be the first. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. But look, we'll move on to we'll move on to Bobby Green defeated Clay Guida by unanimous decision. Two judges had 29-28 in favour of Bobby Green. One judge had it 30-27. I scored a 29-28 in favour of Bobby Green. I went on the Instagram post for this fight, and I couldn't believe the amount of people were just like, Clay Guida won that fight. Robbed, bro. How can you treat a UFC veteran like this, man? Like, what the fuck were people watching?
Do you know what I think a lot of this is, and we talked about this just before the pod, and I kind of just had a little spark in my head as to why this is. And one thing we talked about before the pod was, first of all, MMA fans are retarded, right? And I mean that in the nicest sense of the word, retarded.
Don't say that word.
Oh, come on. Okay, they're regarded as idiots.
Regarded.
Look, a lot of them don't actually know how fighting is. They don't know how to score fights. They don't really know a lot about the sport, and yet they comment about everything. And I think there's two sides to this. I think Bobby Green is a guy that is easy to hate, right? He's a good-looking son of a bitch. He walks in there cocky. He talks a fucking strong game. He's a very easy guy to fucking hate. I can get on board with that 100%. The other side as well is that after his fight, and I think these comments will have come after this, he brought on his, and I was talking about this video with you in a post-fight, that he brought along his foster dad, and he never knew his parents. His parents were deemed as you know, Bobby Green's black. We're not going to beat around the bush. His parents were deemed unfit to take care of him. He had a foster parent, and he said that this is the guy that not only got him into martial arts, saved his life, looked after him, he loves him like his father, and he was saying, it's not about Black Lives Matter. It's about everybody coming together and love defeating all and hate being taken out of the get, you know. And basically, I think what happens is America, I've come to realize recently just how secular and how racist.
Horribly divided place.
And it's horribly, and I think a lot of it will be, how can they, because Guida, let's face it, he's the fucking neo-Nazi poster boy. He looks like it, you know, I'm not saying he is, I'm saying he looks like he could be that guy. No, look, you get my point that he's. Listen, you get my point. I'm not saying he is.
Guida's a California surfer, bro.
Yeah, and that's the guys they want in their fucking blue-eyed blonde army of people to fight the world. But
like, yeah, but no, I know what you're trying to say.
I think what I'm trying to get at with the Bobby Green thing is, I think there's such a systemic problem over there in general with racism that whenever someone speaks up about it, no matter what light it's spoken in, they're a piece of shit and they shouldn't win.
Everybody
deserve whatever, and
everybody just thinks they're under attack.
Yeah,
by everybody, and it's just not the case. And like,
and that wasn't what
he summed it up perfectly. Like, I thought, like, it is well said. I know a lot of people, you know, I don't understand anybody who doesn't look like me's experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't say anything about it, but like, I just hope that people can kind of, you know, put all the division behind them and just come together. Like, just what you said there, like, you know, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. It doesn't matter who you are. That's the way I live my life. Like, and
you know, if me and you were having this conversation 20 years ago, it wouldn't be the same thing. You know, Ireland and the UK, and it's been
no podcast
fraught. Yeah, but it's been, you know, and the reality is, you know as well as I do, Irish people and English people are just up for having a crack generally. That's the most percentage of people, and it's the same with white, black, whatever it is. Everyone just wants to have a crack and have a good time. And
the division is online. The division is on social media. The division is when people can get out their opinions behind the safety of their keyboard without threat of being. But in the real life, you don't see people who are openly racist to your face.
First of all, that's a very unfortunate position. You just put your hand and thing in
Sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
But like, you don't see people who are looking. You know, you don't see people in real life looking to cancel people or render them jobless. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is,
people have, like, for the most part, majority of people now, there is instances of that stuff.
Oh,
people are decent in real life. People are decent. They treat each other with respect, And
Yeah.
just social media is just a wreck and it's toxic. And
But
like
not
basically,
just social
I
media,
couldn't
the
even.
media in general. You know, it's a toxic environment for people to. I mean, you just flick through anything nowadays, and you see a headline, and one paper will say Black Lives Matters movement, the best thing that's ever happened. Next paper will say, can you believe they're desecrating monuments? Like it's this
Yeah, it's
whole
all
fucking thing of how can we
it's
divide people more and
it's
more,
all just there to get you pissed off. That's it.
and to keep buying, keep clicking. That's all it is. It's just to enrage you to click and to do whatever. And it just, I'm sick of it. It generally feel
Just treat people nicely and look after your family. That's the way you should live your life.
well,
And that's
100%.
how.
And fucking people are morons. But yeah, I mean, look, Bobby
Yeah,
Green
we
won
don't
that
want to
fight. let's not go too off topic, but Bobby Green won that fight, in my opinion, hands down. Clay Guida first round, I would say, and then the rest was Bobby Green through and through.
One thing I did think Bobby Green was his takedown defense was brilliant. I thought.
Yeah, he looked very good. And I think Clay Guida, he's definitely coming to the end of his time in fighting, and he's just a little off the pace nowadays. Do you know what I mean? He's just a little bit. He's not quite there, but Bobby Green, 33 still, could still have a decent. I mean, he retired once. It's a very strange thing in his life, but
And when he's lost to, obviously he lost to Poirier and stuff. He's lost to top level guys.
Yeah, he has, and but then, you look at him, Drakkar Closer and Trinaldo. They're not good people to lose to, and that's a bit of a problem.
Well, to be fair to
his career.
To be fair to Drakkar Close was, he
oh yeah, look, he's
very
not a bad
significant
fighter.
bit of hype around him up until he got dropped dead by Beneil Dariush. Like,
but yeah, I mean, the point that I'm making on that is that it's not a top of the pile fighter that you're losing to. And yes, this decision, you can question those decisions. And I think that decision actually probably was quite questionable, if I remember correctly. But Green is one of those guys, he's never really out of a fight. He doesn't get finished very easily. He's always in decisions. They're always split decisions. They're all, it's all these fucking weird things. But at 33, now is the time he really needs to make a fucking jump in his career and see if he can, get to that top again. Because when he came out of Strikeforce into the UFC about 5-6 years ago, he looked great at the time and beat Josh Thompson. Yeah, it was a split decision, but Josh Thompson's no fucking joke, And back then, particularly, Josh Thompson was a great fighter. It's, we'll just have to see. But I think at 33, he needs to go straight to top 15 now. See if he can go up the rankings and try and do what he can for his career. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, Grant, so we'll move on. Tisha Torres defeated Brianna Van Buren by unanimous decision, 30-27 on all judges' scorecards. Yeah, like this was just this was kind of as run of the mill and
Yeah, I mean, what I will say,
but Tisha Torres basically Van Buren, I don't think really was good enough to be in the octagon with her at all.
This was the cutest fight I've ever seen, Phil. 5'1" and 5 foot. These two little, little people, we'll call them. We won't go into the the name calling. But it was, I actually expected more from this fight, if I'm honest with you. I thought Brianna would try and impose her will more than she did. She didn't. It just all looked a little off.
She did. Obviously, you've seen Van Buren's game plan from the start was just to get the fight to the ground.
Yeah.
But I thought Tisha. I actually thought. Thought Tisha's combinations were quite good. I thought she looked sharp. She looked quick.
Oh yeah.
But the thing about Tisha Torres is she just doesn't have. She doesn't really have that power to really get a finish. She's so many decisions on her record. Like it's kind of. I just thought she was just too skillful, and that was that.
That's it.
The fight was just a bit of a write-off, to be honest.
I think she was just a little bit too much better than her, better than Van Buren. Sorry, and I think Van Buren just a little bit maybe used to people being able to fall into a wrestling trap easier. I don't know. I don't know with this fight what it was, but I expected more from Van Buren. I expected this from Tisha Torres. To be honest, that's kind of how she is in every fight. And she's great with what she does. But again, I don't see either of these two right now going much further than where they are. Do you know what I mean? Where would you see these guys coming? You know, for me, I don't really know.
Well, there was obviously a stretch with Tisha Torres where she was, she was an undefeated fighter, and
Yeah.
she had a couple of good wins under her belt, but then she obviously had her notable slip ups. And to be honest, I think with Tisha Torres, I think she has the potential to get back up there, but I don't think she's good enough to challenge for the
No.
title.
I mean, the thing is, I would say either Michelle Waterson or Rodriguez, but she's already beaten Waterson. Rodriguez, she lost to in her last fight before Van Buren. Maybe that's the one to run back. I don't know. Maybe, because the thing is now, again, she's got to keep it, or maybe Alexa Grasso or someone like that. I don't know. Someone in the lower part of that top 15. But like you said, I don't really think she's
Even Angela Hill wants a fight again. She's always looking for a fight.
Listen, Angela Hill can fight whoever she wants at this point, and Angela Hill won that last fight against Galdea, and well, in our eyes anyway, in my eyes particularly, she won that fight. I don't know, but it's fuck it. Let's see. I mean, that would be a fun fight. Don't get me wrong. Tisha Torres and Angela Hill will be a fun fight. I think that'd be a good one to put in there, and also maybe. Is Carla Esparza coming off a win as well? I think she is, isn't she? Maybe that's the kind of fight.
Yeah, and it was a terrible fight. From what I remember,
two terrible fights to carry on. It'd be great.
Yeah. So we're moving on. Marc-Andre Barriault defeated Oscar Pichota by TKO at round number 2, 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, this was a decent fight. Two big lads for that division.
I mean, what can you say other than they were just slanging leather here?
Just going for it, just throwing leather, getting tired. It was like something you see in the car park.
It was. They were both knackered by the end of this fight. How Barrio actually finished off that at the end, I don't know. There was 10 seconds left, and I thought, he ain't going to get through this. I thought Piot's just going to make it to the next round. But fair stoppage to the referee. He wasn't fully out. He didn't look, dead, but he thought
it was over. It was over.
It was 100% over. And I think if he'd have let that carry on, it would be a dangerous third round for Piotr to come out to. But yeah, look, Barry, it wasn't. That fight doesn't really intrigue me too much. It was fun to watch, but where do both these guys go? It's that 185 division is a very strange division in general. Not a lot of talent underneath the top 15 that you could say.
But the top 15 is fairly stacked.
But the top 15, yeah, that's it. But then underneath that, you're not really seeing much. Do you know what I mean? Outside of that, and there's a lot of people coming to the end of their careers at middleweight. There's not really a lot of young talent apart from Shabazian and. Well, that's it, really. Shabazian is the only prospects I can really think about at middleweight at the moment. And these two, nowhere near that ability, nowhere near that point. And Barrio, even for his win, looked absolutely shattered at the end of that fight. And you got to think there's got to be some improvements in both their games before either of them can go any further. Very similar records. Very similar ages as well, I think, aren't they? Those two, 30, 31, something like that. They just, something needs to happen in their career. I don't know what it is, but something needs to happen where it just, they speed up and get better. Maybe they need to change camps. Maybe they need to, I don't know, but their fitness regime 100% needs to go up because something's not working with their strength and conditioning at all.
Agreed. So we'll move it on. Gillian Robertson defeated Courtney Casey by submission. Rear naked choke at round 3, 4 minutes and 36 seconds. This was just a mauling. She was just assume. As soon as the round started, Robertson to get her up against the fence, couple of strikes, get the fight to the mat, and then eventually ended up being able to get herself into a position she could work the rear naked choke her out. That was it. Next.
What got me about this fight is that the first two rounds went exactly how you said, and then the third round, Courtney Casey was like, "Do you know what? I'm going for fucking broke it." And you were like, "Oh, she might actually win this. She might finish it." And then Gillian Robertson, "Nah, I'm just going to take you down and submit you out of nowhere. So fuck off." And before that, Courtney Casey was winning that round, 100%.
Yeah.
And then Robertson just said, no, not today. I'm going to take you down again. And look, Courtney Casey, again, let's talk about their records. 9-8. What? What's going on here? Like, where is Courtney Casey in the rankings as well? Is she even in there? Is she not? I don't really know anymore. But just not a good fight again. Not a worthy one of my time. Not another one. I mean, Gillian Robertson.
Not a worthy one of my time.
No, not worthy of my time.
Time is precious.
Listen, my time is precious. And when I'm seeing someone who lost to Macy Barber in their last fight beat the next person who's fucking 9-8, I don't have time for it. And yeah, that's just my opinion.
I think Gillian Robertson has potential because she's fantastic on the ground. She has, where her problem is just getting hit. I think she kind of folds.
Yeah,
she does have a problem with strikers, but if she can get her fights to the mat,
yeah,
there's not a lot. Is there many really? Maybe
wrestlers that can get you to the mat in the same way. Tatiana Suarez is the other one. Juliana Pena,
Aspen Ladd.
Yeah, Aspen Ladd. There's a few that are good at it, but Gillian Robertson, again, when I look at her, she's off those people. She's
but
not quite there.
I think her wrestling's good, but I think her submission game is fairly underrated. There's a lot of people that can get you down, but they'll keep you down or they'll try and just rain on you.
I think her submission definitely got some talent in there that a lot of people in that division haven't got. But that being said,
she just needs to sharpen it on the feet, and I think she'll be okay.
But how does she? She's at the age of 25 where she should be soaking this up now. Everything should be just coming through and getting better and better. And she just looks stale in her career. She doesn't look like she's got any other stuff. And sometimes some people reach their athletic point where they can go, and that's it. And they can only get stuck there. And I think she's one of those people. Don't get me wrong. That fight for me was actually the third round, particularly, was more exciting than any of the female fights that were on that night.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people trash it on Twitter, but I didn't think it was a bad fight. I enjoyed it.
No, I mean, look, we'll talk about Laura Murphy and Roxanne Modafferi in a minute, but we came through from that to that, and the finish was exciting in the Gillian Robertson fight. Whether you want to say it or not, that last round was exciting and it was fun to watch. But neither of those guys go anywhere from this. It doesn't change anything. Again, it's just a nothing fight that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's enough. So we'll move on to the next one. So Justin James defeated Frank Camacho by TKO round number 1, 41 seconds.
By destruction in 41 seconds.
There's not much to say about this. Came out, landed, mauled him. Referee stepped in.
All I'll say is I feel sorry for Frank Camacho. He's been in the UFC for a few years now, and he's only won 2, lost 5.
Missed weight and got a hiding.
Missed weight, yeah, but he's lost to Jiang Li, who's not a bad fighter, Drew Dober, Jeff Neal, Barinel Dariush, and now Justin. So those losses before, you go, do you know what? Fucking all right. He's in his late 20s. He's still getting somewhere. But this fight, I mean, Justin James, and he comes in on 4 days' notice.
Making his debut,
Yeah, obviously a great power puncher, and I would say...
Well, much like Christian Aguilera, not to be confused with the great Christina Aguilera, but 2 exciting, powerful fighters who got the job done early in their debut. So I want to see him again.
I definitely want to see him again, and I think, it really showed in that fight. He's got great technique. That left hook particularly is something that needs to be worried about by a lot of people because it's perfect. It's absolutely, and he doubled up on that left hook as well. That was what was beautiful about it. People don't understand it unless they do the mechanics of training or whatever. I don't know what you've done, Phil, but doubling up a hook like that and doing it well is not easy by any fucking stretch of the imagination. And he did it perfectly and destroyed a guy who's actually not a bad striker and also very fucking tough. And I just feel bad for Camacho. Where does he go from here other than the cutting board?
Fair, yeah. To be fair, that is true. But look, we'll move on to the next one. We talked briefly about this because there's a fair amount to talk about in the opening fight of the night. But Lauren Murphy defeated Roxanne Modafferi by unanimous decision. So 2 judges had a 30-27, 1 judge had a 29-28. I'll let you.
Look. Fair decision. Lauren Murphy outstruck her ridiculously throughout the fight. I'd say every round she probably outstruck her. The last round was kind of close, but I don't really know.
I was disappointed in Modafferi because she looked so good in her last fight, and she looked aggressive, and you kind of thought, is she getting it all together? And
this is a problem.
I just thought she was so flat.
This is a problem that's been with Modafferi's career though forever. Though she's 24 and 17, she's so inconsistent. She's also, she's been around the game for a long, long time. She's been on the Japanese scene. She's been every local scene you could imagine. It took her. She didn't get into the UFC until 3 years ago. She's 37 now. Yeah, okay. She's come on in some respects, but everything's a win-loss, 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 win-loss. Like there's no consistency to a game, and it's almost you can almost count that the next time she comes out to fight, she'll win, and then the next time after that, she'll lose, and you can almost set your fucking watch to it, and it's really. I don't know with Modafferi. She's got all the skills in the world, but there's something lacking.
And she seems like such a nice person. Like you just want her to do well. But
I mean, the thing is,
she needs to get a bit of consistency.
She beat Macy Barber because Macy Barber tore ACL right in the first round, and she didn't even hurt her in that fight. She just let her get away with that, And most fighters, if you're a fighter, you got killer instinct. You see an injury. You go to end the fight. You make moves so that your career doesn't stall. She didn't do that. She just kind of held her there for 3 rounds and punished her a little bit, but not really. And I think she's too nice. I genuinely think she enjoys fighting. I think she enjoys the competition of fighting. But I think really her personality, someone I don't think she's got it in her to do what Joanna Jędrzejczyk does, for example, or Weili Zhang. That. She doesn't have that in her.
She's not going to kill someone.
It's fair enough, I think that's who she is as a person. But at the same time, maybe coach. Maybe. But if she's having fun out there, she doesn't seem to be taking much damage, to be honest. So let her do what
she is. And the fans love her.
Yeah, well, she's
be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't. Maybe, of course you will find someone because MMA fans are toxic. But we move on. Yeah. But Austin Hubbard defeated Max Roshkov by TKO. Basically finished on the still, and this was extremely, extremely tough to watch. But I tried to obviously. I put the video up on the Instagram with a little bit of a question, and and the Facebook as well, and we got taken down by the UFC. But it was basically just the obvious question, which was, is this is the polar opposite to Anthony Smith's corner by making him not give up and continue, and not knowing when to stop a proud fighter from keep going. But this one here, people are really hammering the corner out of it and stuff like that, which is fair enough. But sometimes when your fighter is that tired and that mentally defeated, as your job as a coach to tell him, no, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But then after he said it more than 5 times, well, then you should be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough.
So, I mean, first of all, we'll talk about the fight a little bit. So, the first round was actually pretty close. And if I was going to call it for anyone, I'd have called it for Roshkov. I'd have said, okay, he got a takedown, very close in the striking. It could have gone either way. But then again, just very close round. But then it was obvious in the second round there was a real distinct conditioning problem with Max, who took that fight on, I think, 9 days' notice or something. I don't really know.
I thought it was 4 days' notice from what I see, or 4 or 5 days' notice.
Well, it wasn't long anyway. Either way, he didn't have a lot of time to prepare, and a lot of that's just cutting weight. Even if you're 9 days out, 7 days of that is cutting weight. So it's fucking, it's hell. But Hubbard came on really strong in the second round. I mean, he just dominated him. It wasn't even, I think. Roshkov got 6 strikes on him and Hubbard got 45. I mean, it was just a horror show the second round. It was just watching like a dad play with his kid, It was just unfair. And I think when he went into that corner, it was obvious that he was done. His whole body language was, I'm out of this. I haven't got the look. I haven't got the air in my lungs for this. I'm done. And he's an undefeated young kid. He shouldn't have taken that fight on that notice against a tough Austin Hubbard's no joke. Just send a guy in there on fucking, even if it's 10, 15, 20, you need a full fight camp for that kind of thing, and you debut. And if you're only 5-0, you're not that experienced in reality. The stool, for me, Robert Drysdale has a lot to answer for, because there's two. I see both sides of this, right? So yes, the coach has got to say to his fighter who's going down, you got to be like, no, come on, we can do this. You got to pick yourself up. You want to be a champion. This is what you got to do. You got to dig deep. You got to get in there. But when
he's previously 5-0. He's probably never experienced this level of.
But like you said, when you said this 5 times already, and then when your
he said it. He said it like call it. I counted 8 times.
I think it was at least 8, 9, 10. I don't know what it was, but it was a lot of times. And then there was another point when he said, "I don't want to do this anymore." And Rob Drysdale said, "What are you talking about? You're a champion." He said, "I don't have it. I don't have it."
Yeah.
And this is the thing.
That's tough to listen to. Like,
that's the moment that he should have gone, okay, live to fight another day. You know, if he really feels this way right now, this needs to be stopped, because he's going to go out and get hurt. And there's no two ways about it.
But if that happens, then, do you know what I mean? You're kind of into your first loss effectively as a fighter. Like, you're a 5-0 fighter, and then this bit of a race, and I don't want to be harsh on him at all, but like, if he's saying I don't have it, well then, you know, like, should the coach not just be like, yeah, well, here you finally got to the promised land of the UFC, and the first fight, it's, you know, you're saying you don't have it, like, okay, well then are you done, or do you just want to quit the fight, like? Because he'll do, like, will he not? Will he do it again?
I think he just wanted to quit the fight. I think in reality, there's 2 things to it. When you're young and you haven't faced adversity like that, it's a very tough thing to kind of pull through from, right? So you can have all the talent in the world as a fighter, you can have all the skills, do whatever, but if you haven't got that mentality of being a dog in a fight and having to come back and, you know, and bite harder, you don't really have it. So the thing is, this could be a moment where actually he goes, I need to be tougher. I need to, what am I talking about? What am I doing? Or it could just be that he really doesn't want to do this anymore. But I think in reality, he just wanted out of that fight. It was like I said, this is again on his coaches to a degree, because when you make a fight, it's not just the fighter who gets a call and says, yeah, I'll take that fight. They sit down with the coaches, they talk about it, they go through it all, and they fucking go, is this a good opponent or not? And they should have said, Max, no, not for you. Sit back a bit. The chances will be there at 5-0. At your age and being 5-0, the chances will come. Just sit back. Don't take a dangerous fight against this guy. Let's get you in shape, and then you can do it, you know. And I don't know. He's 25. I think they've not looked after him properly there. And
so you put it on. You would put it on the corner, yeah?
I put it on the corner in the sense of they should have been smarter, but I think they wanted to get paid. And I think that's another problem that we've got, is that the coaches don't get paid unless the fighters get paid, you know, and there's too many moving parts in the whole thing to say whose fault it is and who isn't. But as a human being, your responsibility is to protect your fighter. And as a coach, not just a human being, is to protect your fighter from unnecessary damage. They didn't do that. You know, in fact, they were encouraging him to go out and take more damage when he'd already been a punch bag for 5 minutes. That needs to be looked at, you know.
But then, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I don't know. Like, if he says he doesn't have it and he doesn't want to do it anymore, well, then I hope he does find something that he does want to do. But it could be the case where he's just so mentally defeated at that point. But he could look back on that during the week and just be like, "What the fuck was I doing? Like, get me back in there."
I'm telling you right now, he'll have watched that footage and he'll be regretting it right now. 100%. As a man that's 25 years old, you know your pride won't be able to take that. 25-year-old men don't have it in them to take that loss. I think it could be a good thing for him. I think it could light a fire under him. Or,
hopefully.
In the other side of it, it's still a good thing. He realises this isn't for him. You know, if he's 5-0, this could have been his dream when he was 20, right? There's a big difference between 20 and 25 in life terms. And he's probably gone, do you know what? Actually, I'm sick of being punched in the face for the last 5 years. I really don't. He was a wrestler, wasn't he? A state wrestler and all that kind of stuff. maybe he just wants to fucking do that kind of shit. You know, that.
Yeah, it's not nice getting punched in the face, to be fair.
No, it's not. It's not ideal. It's not what you'd ask for usually.
Nah. Well, look, yeah, well, fair enough. Good points made about that. But yeah, I suppose we'll look ahead. We'll briefly look ahead to the next event, which is Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Very looking forward to this. Takes place on June 27th at the UFC Apex facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. Main event being Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. We also got Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall as co-main event. At welterweight, we've a middleweight bout, Brendan Allen versus Kyle Daukaus. Heavyweight contest between Gene Valiante and Morris Green. And then the prelims, from top to bottom, we have a lightweight contest, Luis Pena versus Kama Worthy. We have a women's flyweight, Mara Romero Barella versus Miranda Maverick. Heavyweight contest, Felipe Lins versus Tanner Bozer. We've Sean Woodson versus Kyle Nelson. I think that's a catchweight, isn't it?
Catchweight, yeah.
And then welterweight contest, Takashi Sato versus Ramiz Brahimaj, and women's strawweight with Kay Hansen versus Jinyu Frey. And kicking off the card, we've a featherweight contest, Jordan Griffin versus Yusuf Zalal. Yeah, but if you want to talk about the main event.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not going to talk about this card too in depth, but
it's not good, is it?
I mean, there's a few fights on there. Luis Pena, Kama Worthy, I think, is a good fight, but
yeah,
I mean, they're making a mistake, I think, with Luis Pena here, because I can see Kama Worthy just taking over that and destroying him. It is what it is. I think Bob Ross is very overrated, but we'll see. And then co-main, I mean, fuck me. I mean, should we just say fight of the disappointing careers at welterweight, or?
Well, I'm only interested to see how Mike Perry gets on with his girlfriend in his corner. Do you know what I mean?
Look, that guy, when people talk about CTE problems, that's number one there, because this is a guy that has never defended himself in any fight he's ever been in. He's taken beatings, and yeah, sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. But I mean, fucking hell, Mike, what are you doing? Taking away an actual MMA training team and getting your girl to pad you, who is, might I say, one of the most unathletic people I've ever seen in those training videos. Don't get me wrong, she looks like an absolute
Did you see the videos of her lads?
Yeah, horrendous. She looks absolutely, I won't say the word, because you get offended.
I don't know what it is. Like, what are you trying to...
He's mental.
What are you trying to do?
No, he's not trying to do anything. He's mental, Phil.
Do you know what?
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Sorry.
No, I forgot what I was going to say. But
oh, for fuck's sake!
No, I just don't. I don't know. Like, you know, Mickey Gall should win this fight.
No.
Perry has no corner.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Perry's still a better fighter than Mickey Gall. It doesn't matter. Look, Mickey Gall is fucking.
But honestly, I think he's lost his mind.
Who? Mike Perry.
Yeah.
That could go in two ways, right? So that losing your mind, as long as he's actually keeping fit and he won't have lost the sharpness of his skills yet. But I'm interested to see. I reckon he'll murder Mickey Gall, even without a corner.
Like an early stoppage?
It'd just be a murdering, because Mickey Gall's striking is, at best, a joke. And he's good on the ground, but Mike Perry's good at takedown defense. And the reality is, Mickey Gall's takedowns.
Yeah, but you know, Mike Perry just decides he wants to just get in a dogfight and then gets finished, like Jeff Neal destroyed him.
This is Jeff Neal and Vincent Luque that we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is.
Well, he only lost. Gall. Well, to be fair, he only lost a split to Luque.
Yeah, but he still took a beating. Do you not remember his nose?
Oh God, yeah. God.
Right, Donald Cerrone, Max Griffin, Ponzinibbio, the people that he's lost to, Japan. These are good fighters. Let me tell you who Mickey Gall has lost to, shall we? Because you won't remember the names.
Diego Sanchez.
Yeah. And Randy Brown, right?
Well, and Randy Brown's still active.
The biggest win of Mickey Gall's career is Salim Tahari. Yeah? Who is that?
He beat Sage Norco.
Piss off, Sage Norco. I can't even fucking... Whatever. Mickey Gall is a waste of space on the roster, and he's only there because he beat CM Punk. Well, congratulations, Mickey. You're as bad as CM Punk now because you're only there because you've got a name from something else. So fuck off. And in the main event, Phil, just get on to that.
This is interesting. The main event is interesting.
Poirier wins. That's all I can say. Dan Hooker for me is a mediocre fighter at best. Yeah, I said it, Phil. I said it. Mediocre at best.
Is that just because you don't like him? Like
no.
To be honest, I kind of like heel Dan Hooker. I won't lie.
Do you know what it is? It's not that I don't like him. It's that. How do I put this? His career wins are not exactly spectacular, and his last win against Paul Felder was a robbery.
It was questionable, yeah.
Oh, robbery. Straight up robbery. But look, okay, he's beat Ally Quinter, James Vick. He did beat Gilbert Burns before Gilbert Burns went on this absolute fucking tear.
KO Jim Miller as well.
But again, that was Jim Miller at the height of Lyme disease filth. You know, if we're going to talk about this is the problem. It's when you're looking at his career. I mean,
he submitted Mark Diakise, and this was when Diakise had a bit of a, you know.
I thought Diakise had just lost to Closer before that fight. He had, yeah. So Diakise had already been exposed. Diakase's having a bit of a resurgence at the minute, sure, because he's young and he's doing well and whatever. But look, Dan Hooker's wins have been not good, right? And I think the thing is, Dustin Poirier is, for me, just levels above. And
I agree.
When Hooker gets into a strike, the only chance that Hooker has got is staying at complete and utter range with Poirier, which is not going to happen because Poirier is very good at getting on the inside and boxing, you know, in a phone box. And I think that's what's going to happen. And I think Hooker's going to have a bad night, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Poirier's offensive boxing is absolutely world class.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like Hooker's crafty though. I think it'll be a case of just I'm predicting a second round finish for Poirier.
Yeah, I think it'll either be.
I don't see it much like that. Yeah, but what do you think about Brendan Allen and Kyle Daukaus?
I mean, Kyle Daukaus is apparently undefeated. I don't know much about him in general. Yeah. I think it looks interesting. He's got a lot of Darce choke wins to his name. He's obviously a good grappler. Brendan Allen, he's looked like a bit of a prospect for a while, 24. You know, he's beaten Tom Breeze, who's a very good grappler as well, and Kevin Holland, who's a decent grappler. And I think the thing is, it's tailor-made for Brendan Allen to win this fight against a guy that looks, you know, good because he's undefeated, 9-0 and all this kind of stuff. But we never know. With these shows that we've seen recently, you know, it depends what mindset people turn up in. And we're starting to see as well that certain fighters are affected by the crowd not being there in either a positive or negative light. Some guys feed off that energy of the crowd and go for it. And some guys just, you know, get better because there's no pressure on them. There's no one watching them. There's no one making them feel worse. So it's one of those things where Daukaus might come in, feel no pressure because it's his debut and he thinks, oh, fuck it, you know, I'm meant to lose.
Well, yeah, considering the trend of UFC debuts,
exactly.
get it done early. But yeah, he looks a little bit like he looks a bit of a stud. Like he's 27.
Oh, he looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely lean as hell and undefeated. I mean,
a lot of submissions on his record. A
lot of Darce as well. A lot of Darce. He's got 5 Darce chokes. And 2 rear naked chokes, as well as a decision in there. So look, he's no fucking joke. That's obvious. 3 rear naked chokes. So we know what he's going for. He's going for a neck. You know, there's no two ways about it. And I think, you know, but Brendan Allen, again, good wrestler, I think. we'll just have to see. You know, he's coming out of Rufus Sport, which I think is one of the best camps that there is out there. I don't know.
Daukus is coming out of Rufus Sport, yeah?
No, sorry. This is Brendan Allen. But like I say, he's already beaten 2 or 3 really good grapplers already. His losses were kind of earlier on in his career to Eric Anders and Anthony Hernandez, who, you know, both UFC fighters now. Lost to Trevin Giles, another UFC fighter. He's obviously got the caliber, but he lost those fighters when he was in his 2021. You know, it's a big difference, and he's starting to thicken up and look like a fucking beast now. I think Brendan Allen will probably win, but we just need to see how that Duckus or whatever his name is, we need to see how he reacts to the pressure of the debut or with the crowd or whatever. You know, it's all just, there's a lot of ifs, ands and buts everywhere.
Yeah, and who are you taking? Jean Vellante. Jean Vellante versus Morris Green.
Morris Green, you know, I could never pick Vellante to win.
Yeah, he's just so inconsistent.
Oh,
but
not just inconsistent.
Morris Green has lost two on the bounce now.
Yeah, but they're actual to heavyweights. You know, John Vellante is. I don't know. Look, he's slow at light heavyweight. What are we going to see at heavyweight? It's just going to be.
I think you're going to see an early finish for Morris Green, or it could just be.
I don't understand
a horrible decision.
How does he keep getting fights? This is what I don't understand. It's insane to me. Whoever his and Chris Weidman's manager are is a fucking genius, because they're still getting paid silly money to be in there for no reason. It's just, I don't know. I don't care for John Vellante. I mean, he's a nice guy by the looks of things, and when he talks and he's interviewed, he seems like a good guy. But what a fucking waste of shitter on the card that is. Oh, well.
And we see, obviously, Felipe Lins getting back after losing to Andrei Arlovsky.
Against Tanner. I mean, fucking hell. Fucking hell, Phil. I mean, a guy that's got a decision win over Daniel Spitz and a loss to Cyril Gane. I don't care. All right? I really don't. It's a terrible fight. Philippe Lins looked dreadful against Andrei Arlovsky.
And that has been episode 35 of the What is the Craic podcast. Yeah.
Look, you know, early on there could be some good fights. Sean Woodson versus Carl Nelson. It's a featherweight. It's lightweight. It's going to be exciting. Sato versus Bramaj. It's probably going to be better. You know, Jordan Griffin, Youssef Zalal. Again, that's probably going to be a fun fight. From what I've seen of those two, but it's a terrible card. Up and down, it's a terrible card.
But all these cards that we complain out, about usually turn out to be good. So.
Oh yeah, I mean we've had a lot better than we thought. This last card that was dreadful actually didn't turn out to be great. There were a few good fights, but it wasn't a good card in general. You know,
like even the prelims on the Jessica Oi, Calvillo card were fairly good.
Yeah, they were, but that card was just again not filled with much that's going to do any movement. You know, there's nothing on it's going to move the needle. Nothing on it's going to make you think about the divisions being. I mean, Calvillo obviously because she came up and beat the number one contender. It's what it is. But I mean, what a terrible fight that was as well to watch. It's just
true.
We'll see.
But look, but we'll be watching anyway. As always, and we'll be coming back with our takes on
hot takes.
Our hot takes, yeah. But is there anything else you want to bring up?
Just, you know, I mean, do we really want to talk about what's going on in the world at the minute, Phil? It's, you know, it's craziness personified.
I couldn't stay on social media. I had to take like a 2-week break.
I think we both did, to be honest.
Just people are just toxic, going back and forth, arguing.
Yeah.
Just Twitter is a bit.
I'll be honest with you, Phil. Since I got banned, I felt a lot better. I know that sounds ridiculous, but my mental health is fucking superb because on Instagram and Facebook, even though you see it, it's not. I have to click on the comments to see it. Do you know what I mean? It's a different thing. I have to purposely seek out other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But on Twitter, it's just opinion, and no one wants to take your opinion on board. No one wants to actually listen to what you've got to say. I don't care about what other people have got to say, and that's a real problem that we actually have. Is that, and I'm guilty of it.
Everybody knows everything.
Yeah,
they know everything.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm guilty of it as well. When I think I'm right about something, I won't give in. And the reality is, that's not the way that things are going to move forward ever. And I'll be honest, I've taken a lot of time during this thing to really reflect about what I do and what I say and how it affects. And I'm always going to say things like retarded because I just don't think it's a big issue. You know, I've got my opinions on certain things, but, you know, I've really kind of had to reflect on this thing and really think about how lucky I really am in the position that I am in, you know, as a person. And, you know, I can sit back and at first I was kind of offended. I was like, well, you know, it does take away from the all lives matter thing. And I was like, well, fucking actually, you know, the problem isn't with all lives. So it's not really. And then I see all these middle class fucking white people and they're going, oh, we need to make a change. I don't see many of those people volunteering and heading to Africa to get on the relief mission. You know, it's.
They just want to look. They want to look.
Black Lives Matter, and it's.
Yeah.
You know, and what we. Yeah, and you're right. I know where you're going to go with that. It's to look a certain way on social media. And people do it. And I've taken names. Don't get me wrong, Phil. I've taken names down to see the most fervent people who were saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. I've had people say to me, I can send you some documentaries you can look at if you want. Oh, like I'm ignorant to the whole thing. You know, people are just being people right now. And as you've noticed, it's been forgotten already. And yes, we're seeing a few reports here and there, but it's gone already. And I knew this would happen, and I knew this would go ahead. And how many of these people that are putting Blackout Tuesday on the thing, how many of these people are going to actually stand up and do something? How many of these people are actually going to use their white privilege to make something better for the world? And that's what bothers me, Phil, is that they all talk a good talk and they'll do whatever, but I know people that are in certain positions of power in certain jobs, teachers, whatever. You should be banging on the fucking head teacher's door. You should be banging on your boss's door saying, we're not doing enough in the community. We're not helping our fellow people. Also, this whole thing of people, a lot of these people that I know, gentrification is one of the worst things that happens in this world. That is a white phenomenon, gentrification. You move into a shit area, you up the prices. Up. But you up the prices. You bring a fucking independent fruit and veg chain that costs fucking £7,000 to buy lemons, and you wonder why the people in that area are so fucking pissed off that they can't afford to do anything. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because of you. You're the problem. You all sit there and you talk about your privilege and you want to check it and you want to do this and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Well, I'll tell you what, get out those areas, make fucking housing affordable again for these people. Stop thinking that you're down in an area because it's so bohemian and culturally. Fuck off. You are the problem. The only reason we're talking about these things as well is because rich white people want to talk about them. It wouldn't be anything unless the narrative in these newspapers and media and outlets wasn't rich white people talking about them. And this is the problem that we need to field. We need to have more out there for real people and I'm not just talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the real issue in this country and in every country across the world is socioeconomic issues. That's the number one problem that we face every single day. And, you know, a white kid and a black kid in the same area face the same problems. And they face that the education system isn't good enough. They face the fact that they're tarnished from the moment that they're born because they grew up in a certain area. It's the problem doesn't lie just within racism. The problem lies with systemic problems, with class and everything else. And race, unfortunately, is a part of that because, you know, black people, unfortunately, have been put down into lower class society for as long as you can remember. But then there's two sides to that story as well. You know, the highest earning people in the UK are Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Indian, and Chinese. So if it's a systemic racism problem, why those are the foremost thriving people in this nation? You know, there's two sides to everything, and there's clearly a problem inside the black community with crime and things, and it sounds awful to say it, but we've got to be realistic. But on the flip side, there is also a huge systemic problem as well. You're 26 times more likely to be stopped if you're black. How does that make sense? You equate for 12% of the population in London, but there's severe issues going on everywhere. And how do you fix it? Well, it's not going on social media. It's fucking beating down the doors of your MP. How many people do you know are on your local parish council? How many people do you know is your local MP? people don't know politics. People don't know their local, power system that's around them. You can make a change very easily, but you don't look at it like that. You look at it as a big war on Twitter and Facebook and whatever. And to be honest, I want people just to really, and like I said, I've reflected on this, and I need to be more. I try to be as down the middle as I can with everything. I need to. I always try. I mean, obviously, I have my hot takes on things, but it's only to do with MMA, and it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. But I've learned throughout this, I need to be more willing to listen to people, take on board what they say, and kind of.
A lot of people, like, if they
everyone.
hear something, they don't, like, I'd be included. If I hear something I don't like, I'm immediately dismissing it.
Yeah.
But
we can't do that now,
no.
and I've got friends on both sides of this,
not that people don't take the piss any side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
there's a lot of people that use tragedy for grifting. Do you know what I mean? They're using it. There's a lot of people that use tragedy to make themselves look better and stuff like that. But, like, yeah, it's just. I think it's a thing. Just stop fucking talking and stop saying how you feel, and just take a step back and just fucking just take a step back, just monitor things, and then
I think you've
critically think about the situation.
I think that you've hit
talk
the thing
to
on
people. Talk to people that know more than you. And
you've nailed it there, though, Phil. Is that people talk about how they feel? They're talking about how it affects them as an individual. Well, it doesn't really, does it? If you're a white middle class person, it doesn't really affect you. Yeah, you can feel guilt and you can feel bad about those things, but you shouldn't feel guilty. What you should do is use your privilege. Make it better for people.
What can I do?
What can you do? Well, first of all, there's a few things that I kind of look at. So obviously, like I said, there's two sides to the whole thing, right? Number one, get in contact with your MPs. Get in contact with your local parish councils. Talk to people about these issues that are really going on. Why is it that in education systems we are funding better performing schools with more money than we are schools that have less performance? Worse performing schools get less money. How does that make sense? If you have a failing business, you reinvest and build that business back up, right? So what we're doing is we're already counting out these kids that are in these areas by destroying their funding in these systems.
Well, even what they were doing, taking away the school meals, and
ridiculous.
On Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford,
that fella has done a phenomenal thing, because for a lot of those kids, it could just be the only meal they have in a day.
It's horrifying to think that there are 6.5 million kids. That's a tenth of this population of this country that are apparently on the borderline of poverty. And people don't want to talk about it because it's so easy to look at poverty in other countries and say it's worse, but those kids still aren't eating over here. They're still not being taken care of, and it's an awful thing to look at. And the other things that I think that you could do, we've got to look at the reality of what's happened in life. Since the 1950s, 60s, we have stripped back every single thing that we did for youth and kids. There's no more boxing clubs anymore for kids. There's no more after-school programs. There's no more anything to take these kids away from the situation other than being fucking roadmen and getting on the corner and making money that way. That's the reality. And it's not a black or white thing. That's black and white. That is everyone in that lower socioeconomic. What's their fatherly figure? Oh, they see a male Rommel in these areas. What have they got? A BMW, fucking loads of money and fucking women around them because they're a fucking drug dealer. Well, which one are you going to go for? You're going to go for the guy working in the chip shop earning fucking minimum wage, or you're going to go for the easy route, the guy in the BMW and fucking money and cash and girls everywhere? I'll tell you which route those kids are going to think of. That's the route I want, the shit route, the one that's going to take me nowhere in the long run, but for short-term reward, it's going to be fantastic. And, I just don't think there's enough decent role models in these communities anymore. And for me, I'm thinking about a few things that I can do to set up. And like I said, it's not going to be a Black Lives Matter. I think it's going to be for kids who are disadvantaged in general. I'm thinking about a boxing club, jiu-jitsu, something after school that's going to help kids and teach them discipline and respect. And once it's done, once you've had a fight, once you've had some sparring, once you've done, it's nothing but respect after. And you do not take it outside the gym any other way. And if you come in disrespectfully and you talk to people like shit, you'll be forced to do press-ups and sit-ups the whole time. You'll be made to work and you'll be made to face adversity and the shit that you don't want to do. And I'll put you in there with the biggest, baddest motherfucker that's going to hit you as hard as he can just to show you that you're not the baddest man on the planet, you know. And this is a real thing that, you know, it angers me, Phil, that people aren't looking at simple solutions to solve these things. They think it's such a big overarching problem. It's about community. It's about being better for people. It's about doing stuff for your fellow man that doesn't. The only thing that's ever going to make you a better person individually is to develop yourself individually. And if these kids can't develop themselves individually, they're not going to be part of a community that they can make better either. And that's just my feelings on it.
Yeah, couldn't said it better myself, to be honest. But look here,
a lot of time to think about it, to be honest, Phil. It's, you know, it's devastating to see, you know, because you think that the world's getting better each day, and then you see the Burnley fans flying fucking shit over, you know, Man City Stadium, and it tears down any thought you have for future hope and everything. It just worries the shit out of me.
Fucking Burnley. Fuck Burnley.
Fucking Burnley. Go fuck yourself.
Fucking Burnley. So I love football, but I fucking hate Burnley.
I fucking hate Burnley as well. Go fuck themselves. Cunts.
But look,
speaking of that though, Phil, Cov got promoted, so
yeah, happy days.
Anyway, right, Phil, on that serious note, we'll end it there.
Yeah, well, that has been episode 35 of the What is the Craic podcast. If you want to follow us, our Twitter is at WITCpod. Instagram is the same. Facebook.com/What is the Craic podcast and all that other stuff. Sam is MMA Big Fella on Instagram. He's not on Twitter because he's too much of an opinion. And I am at Phil Dre _ Instagram and Twitter. So we'll leave it at that.
Bye, Phil.